Hello, welcome. Thanks everyone for your patience. I hope you all are having a great day. A good start to the to your Wednesday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thanks for all of you joining today. I know your time is precious. We'll get started here. I know we're starting a little late. This call is being recorded. This webinar is recorded, so you'll all have access to this recording. Afterwards, we'll follow up in an email, and of course, this will be posted on our community site. So thanks again. We know that your time is precious, and we so appreciate you all being here to view our December 2025 release. So I am Jeannie Clark. Myself and our team here at WebCheckout, we love supporting you. And we love spending this time to highlight what we've been up to over the past year. And we want to make sure that we're supporting you so you all have time to focus on the creators and educators and provide them with the tools so they can do what they do best. So we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you all. And today we are going to be showcasing the December release in real time. If you are curious to see what version you're on, you can click on the lower right-hand corner of your web checkout screen. You can see on the lower right-hand corner your current release version or what you're on. Okay, so let's go through what we're here to meet about today. All right, so it is our jam-packed agenda. There's a lot to review. But what you need to know up front, rest assured, your circulation stays the same. So for creating checkouts, reservations, whether that's in web checkout or in patron portal, that process remains the same. And so when it relates to that daily operations, no changes there. Also, no changes when it comes to integration. So your patron data files, your course data integration, your import files, those remain unchanged, right? Brittany Wood is joining me here today. You can see her on screen, and she's here not only to kind of co-host, but she's here to be fact-checking. So if you all have questions too, please feel free to chat them. We will address the questions at the Q&A sessions at the end here. But before we go into the agenda and show kind of the new improvements of web checkout and the latest release, we are going to launch a poll. So we're using Zoom webinar poll here, and the question should pop up shortly. But the question is, I can pop it up on my screen here as well. There it goes. What equipment or tool are students most excited about right now? And has anything about that surprised you? So you guys can enter in that information, enter in what tool or equipment, and if not students, also you. What are you most excited about right now? And while you guys ponder that and share your responses in the poll, for me personally, right now, AI, right? I know we're all kind of engaged with AI. I hope we're all engaged in it, whether it's personal or professional. Um, Claude has been like a personal assistant to me. I've been able to take meeting notes and multiple meeting notes, enter them into Claude, and it will summarize them, put executive summaries, call to action, next steps. I'll deal with a lot of information. And it's really fantastic and powerful what it can do, what I can do with minimal in minimum time and quick time. So AI, right? Quick, big buzzword, but very helpful. Of course, here at Web Checkout, we do have a business account here, so everything's secure, and we have our um, own language model. I should know this more, but we're here to talk about Web Checkout, not AI. Although Web Checkout is powered by AI. So I hope I've given you all enough time to ponder that poll question. And we do have, if we can see the poll results. All right, it's a short answer, 100% answered, close. Sorry, y'all, this is new to me. I'm still learning. 5 years using Zoom. I'm learning Zoom polls via webinar. So if there's something we can share to the group in terms of responses, that'd be great. And if anyone wants to unmute while we're figuring out the technical pieces of this. Oh, am I figuring out polls? All right, we'll come back to that unless Brittany.
In the chat, there is just a short diagram that shows some of what folks are excited about this year.
Oh, cool. A little word bubble.
Yeah.
All right. Knitting, fabricate. These are cool. These are unexpected. Anyone care to share what was so unexpected about these tools or equipment? You can chat them. All right. So, all right, we can come back to this if you feel like sharing at the end there, but thanks for engaging in this poll. Just want to make it interactive and use the tools that we have available to us. All right. All right. Well, enough about the introduction. Let's go into our new features. Let's go into the December release. All right. Okay, so as I mentioned, circulation stays the same. So if you were to upgrade today, creating checkouts, reservations has stayed the same. But let's talk about what has kind of been updated and improved. So reporting versus managing screen. So if you are more running reports, or your technicians that are managing tickets or tasks, there might be slight improvements and changes to the workflow there. We're going to start on the reporting screen. We know you all are using reporting screens, whether you're finding outgoing or incoming your reservation information. But we're going to highlight actually under the authorization screen are find groups. Now, as I open this, if I mentioned the user experience, it's always at the core of what we do here at WebCheckout. So we want to make sure that the application is more intuitive to manage and easy to use. So with that in mind, we've reorganized slightly for consistency and clarity. So as soon as I got into this find page, I'm sure many of you have noticed that the buttons, the find, reset, now called and this manage button, have been moved to the top. So again, we want to make this clear and easy to use. If you're adding additional search terms, we understood the buttons at the bottom, they can be hidden. So we move that at top for easier navigation. Additionally, you'll also notice in this find screen here, as I mentioned, this is what used to be called, I think it used to be setting. It's now called manage. So you can save your searches, you can add new searches. And you'll also notice here on the right-hand side, as you are downloading, the download function is now that download icon. The export option's still the same. Whatever export types you had, you have the same features there, but now you can rename your file. So I tried this export version 2. You can add additional fields. So making building your reports just easier to use and simpler to navigate. And you simply click submit, and then you can download your reports there. So the functionality remains the same, but we've just moved up some of the features for more clarity and consistency. All right. Now, I'm going to go into the manage screens. Now, the manage options, these are again mostly for technicians. So if you are creating or managing maintenance schedules or maintenance types, or if you're dealing with tasks, we now have explicit operations or screens to manage those different operations. So if I click on manage maintenance types, for example, it's building upon the report screen, so you can always add search terms or add more results. So you're finding exactly what you need to view. But then the difference here with the manage screens, you now have this plus sign to add, and you're going to see this throughout the application. So when you are able to add new objects, you'll have the plus sign within one of the report screens, right? And you'll just continue along the same modals to create. Additionally, where available, where you can edit, or if you can delete or destroy, you'll have those options here as well. All right. Now, if I wanted to go back into my find group screen, watch this. Dun, da, da, da. I can click the back button. Yay. The back button is back and it works. So you can include the navigation, that back button workflow back into your navigation. All right. I'm going to continue with the navigation improvements. Oh, great. Thanks for that feedback. Love the applause. Um, but the back button is there and it's also available in Patron Portal too. Now, continuing along with the navigation improvements, I'm going to go into the group details. Like, remember, we're keeping in mind a more intuitive, easier to use interface. And I'm going to pick on this advanced filmmaking group. I know many of you are managing groups, right? If you're getting new inventory or a new class is being offered, you want to authorize those groups to checkout centers or equipment. But in the spirit of easier to navigate user interface, we have gotten rid of accordions. So where you can stack to view different areas within a single page. So sections, you may be familiar, we used to show active sections, inactive sections, upcoming sections. You still have that same flexibility to view all that information, but now it's a toggle. So if you do want to see all your upcoming, inactive, active, simply click Act All. If you want to see your upcoming, you can simply toggle and view that information. And as I mentioned, right in the manage page, there's that plus sign. So if you are adding new sections or if you're managing this manually through the interface here, quickly click that plus sign and you can add new sections. Consistent user experience. Additionally, what I want to show here, some of the screens did have the three dots for additional actions. This is now more consistent through the application. So where available, you are able to select single or have the system select all. And then in the three dots as well, this is where you'll get your options for bulk operations. So you can deselect or you can copy selected. I'm in a section here. If I needed to copy these sections over to another group, you can simply do that, and it does function as expected in the December release here. All right. Another key improvement to the navigation, again, this will be consistent throughout the application. In the line of removing the accordions, it just went to the group authorization set. So again, this is where, as administrators, you guys are adding equipment types or centers that this group now has access to if they require authorization. Those accordions have been moved into its own tab or its own screen. So there's more real estate, more flexibility for you all to manage this and the consistent user experience. All right. Okay, so now that we have a good foundation of the new navigation and the manage screen, let's move on to a new feature. Again, due to popular demand, and actually we can thank our friends, Utai at Penn State University. We recently had a conversation with him. Actually, we had a conversation with him last year, and the school, Penn State, and I'm sure many of you all are going through this, they need to work smarter with the systems they have. And Penn State has a enterprise beyond enterprise where multiple campuses are using WebCheckout, and they need the system to not only deal circulation inventory and fixed inventory, they need to deal with items that are consumables. So items that are given out and not expected back, whether those are items for student use, t-shirts, SD cards, CDs, batteries, but also for internal usage. If you have printer cartridges, paper reels, liquid supplies, things that go out that are depleted, you can now track those and manage those in Web Checkout. So let's launch a poll. How many of you manage consumables? It's a yes, no, and I'm not sure. This one's going to be a quick one. I'll give you 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we can close the poll here. And we can launch the poll. All right. So it's kind of a mix here, but I can do this quick math. The majority of you do manage consumables. All right, so let's go into consumables. Thank you all for engaging in our polls. So under the resources menu in the December release, there's now a manage consumables screen here. All right, now you all see while I went down the find screens first. Now, how consumables work, it tracks inventory like unserialized items, but there's no return time. So unserialized items, you all are familiar, many of you are familiar. Those are items where you have a large quantity of, and it's not number 1 or number 15. You're just giving them out, but unserialized are expected to be brought back. Consumables are not. They're given out, they're for them. It's to be depleted. But with consumables, you now have these additional fields that you can track stock levels. So you can view, if I pick on my 16 millimeter film here, I have a current stock level, I have my ideal stock level, and if I click on this pencil just to see additional information, these are the additional data points that you can track for consumables. So again, we saw my current stock. I have 20 in my stock in my closet right now, and I can see I have 2 upcoming for reservations. I can also see what my replenishment threshold is. So when my current stock levels have reached or gone below this threshold, it will alert me by updating the threshold date. So this is the date my current stock will be at or below the replenishment threshold. So February 15th, 3 p.m. And that also then updates the replenishment status to due. I need to order to maintain a good quantity of this popular item. And it also, you can include what is your replenishment quantity. So when you are reordering, how many should you reorder and then to get to your ideal stock level. So we're on this page. I'm going to add this note, reordered on 2/11/26, and I'll just add my initials there, and I can submit that information. I see the note listed here as well, and I've configured this screen so easily so I can just link to that resource URL or that the URL to reorder more of this item. So I hope you all are able to kind of see the value here of managing consumable items. And because this is, right, this is built upon the an unserialized or just the standard features of web checkout, you can make the resource types visible in Patron Portal. So these items that students can request, they can see it in Patron Portal and reserve them. You can also tie them to usage fees if you do charge a monetary fee, a small fee to have these items. And then, of course, on the other end, if these are more internal items, you do not want the students reserving, of course, you can manage that with our settings here. All right. And then when you are ready to add more consumables, uh, new consumables, I should say. So as you're implementing consumables, and this is available to everyone, this is part of your value for maintenance. This is why you all are subscribing to Web Checkout annually, right? These new features that you have access to. But when you are ready to add consumables, there is an import spreadsheet, but the user interface is fairly intuitive and you simply click the plus sign there to add, and then you can enter in the resource ID, your resource type name, and then on this modal here, you have access to, right, make it visible in Patron Portal or not, and then those threshold quantity values, you can enter all that information here. So very intuitive and simple to use. Right. So we're really excited for you all to engage in consumables. This is version 1. Use it, try, do all your creative things to manage consumables in the system and tell us what works and tell us on what you want to see improved. Your feedback shapes the application. So we're really interested to hear what you have to say about this. All right. Now let's see consumables in action. So I'm going to go from this screen here and I'm going to go into find upcoming. And we're going to pick on Hermione's reservation here. All right. And I'm going to, I will be editing this for pickup. But before I even do that, you can see web checkout clearly it does label whether it's unserialized, a consumable item, or if it's just a standard serialized item. And you may have noticed this too, consumable items do not have a return time. And so I'm going to show you this so it's reflected in your emails, your print agreement form, and in the allocation itself. So I'll edit this for pickup. I'm going to edit this for pickup. Give it a moment to adjust there. And with consumables, you can simply add additional quantities. So if I need two more of these foam, submit. And that same feature, and take a little detour here, that same add by quantity for consumables, that is also available in the patron portal side. So I'll show you that. I just added an additional two additional 16 millimeter film, and I'm going to save this checkout. We're going to pick this up. All right. And we're going to pick this up just so so I can show you all the feedback, the checkout itself. You see the two checkout items. Those are listed in its own view here. And then the consumables, these items, these are not expected to be returned. So they're in their own view. And so your reporting includes all of those details there. And then from my print agreement form, those that use this great feature here, you'll see that the return time for consumables, it shows that it's picked up and there's no return time. Right? So consumables works as you would expect, building upon the same foundations of web checkout. All right. And while we're here, for those of you who may have missed this or who are not yet on um, the June 2025 release, we did improve in last June the overrides functionality. So let's edit this checkout. I'm going to try to prompt an override requirement. So let me extend this end time to, I think I have a usage policy here. Okay. So booking duration is limited. So she's going, this is beyond their usage policy, the usage rules. And you can see already that there's approvals granted and there's some approvals required. This here is already an improvement in that when in the new versions of web checkout, once you override and approve, it's done. You don't need to approve it again at pickup. So those managers, thank you for being so flexible and attentive to your staff when they call you over and they say, we need you to override again for pickup. And we do regret that we caused more manual time, but we're hopefully making up for it now in that you can approve once, it's saved. And also when you do manage, if there's several approvals required, you can select all, select authorized only, and approve them all at once. Additionally, with approvals, if you do have the ability where your students can actually save reservations that have approval required. So if you are too busy or you're not available right there to override, if you allow, your students can save and you all can then come back and view all of those authorization requirements and then approve at once. So it's that same kind of select all with the bulk operation. Again, consistent, more intuitive, easier to use here. All right, so that's a look back on what was new available in June. All right, we're gonna save this renewal. All right. Okay, now we're going to take this, the checkout has been updated, and now we're going to transition from web checkout and go into patron portal, all right, and show some improvements to the patron portal. Now, before we go into patron portal, this is our last poll number 3. I'm interested to know, yeah, do you coordinate equipment reservations for group projects or student organizations where multiple students need gear for shared use? And this is all student focused, but obviously if you're dealing with other staff, faculty, right, can change those out. But Do you all manage these types of projects where they're collaborative projects, maybe that you require gathering information up front, but you need a little more detail, more information than before they can reserve? All right. Thank you for participating, and we'll close out the poll now. And all right, it's about a split 50-50. All right, great. Thanks for engaging into that poll. We'll be talking about shared projects or projects with shared equipment. But patron portal, again, rest assured the reservation process has been unchanged. So if you upgrade today and your students are in patron portal tomorrow, assuming you're not making any configuration changes, the process remains the same. But here is what is new. You can see the color scale has been scaled down, right? Same functionality, but just a scale down on the color scale. And then consumables, as I mentioned, that they're able to add by quantity. You can do that with consumables as well as unserialized. So that same functionality, I'll just show you briefly here too. This is a consumable. She can simply click that plus sign and add quantity. She wants 3 more. All of our budget goes to batteries here, and she can simply just update that quantity. So hopefully your students, your customers find that feature helpful to add bulk quantities of unserialized or consumable items. All right. Okay, now let's go into big new features that's available recently. So with the June and the December release. So with the June release, your patrons were able to propose projects. So in my projects view here, so those who have the projects module, I should preference that. You do require the projects module if you require gathering additional information before your patron can book equipment for that project. Projects might also be helpful for you, useful if you do have shared projects where there are multiple students or multiple users that have a shared use case or are sharing equipment for a common project, student film projects, for example. And then also projects, it's a new way to circulate, or you can circulate to a project, meaning the project can stay consistent, but those who are part of the project can be circulated or changed out, excuse me. So there's some real value in projects beyond just student film or production projects. But let's go into then, these values and what projects can really do for you all. So let's propose a project, right? When you trigger this process, the user, so your student, I'm logged in as Hermione Granger, uh, they are required to select their section. So this is all tied into their groups, right? Gives you access, authorization to patron portal, gives you access to equipment, right? They will have to select their section. So we're going to select for our advanced filmmaking. And then based on their section or based on their group, what project is this? And so you have a list of your project types. These have all been pre-configured. As the project manager, as the administrator, you're able to pre-configure this. So Hermione's creating an advanced film project for her production final, right? So you're seeing that it's building upon, right, that great foundation of WebCheckout's group and access control. We're building upon that core foundation of the application. So she's submitting a project. The requirement is the name and notes, just at this beginning field, just to kick this off. So we're going to call this the December 25 highlight reel. And the notes, this is web checkout top hits of yesterday and today. I grew up listening to FM radio. Yes. All right. Once you are proposed a project, I did that fairly quickly, but the students your patrons will be greeted with the message. It does say that they're going to have to review a form and submit the information. So you can see that the project name populated and there's some pre-populated information. Again, pre-configured from the project administrative side. We'll go into that after this. But the new feature here in the December release is that now projects have forms. You all can now populate and create configurable forms that that allow you to collect the information that you need. There are plenty of field types. I'm just going to just enter in some information here. You can add additional information. We have uh, integer fields, text fields, drop-down fields. We even have where you can add multiple kind of key values and what you can add sections. So it really is a configurable form and there's conditional logic behind this. So what stunts are involved? If there is none, great, you're done. If there is running, right? We know anything more than a slight walk or jog is considered could be a risk. You want to know who the stunt coordinator is. If there is driving involved, not only do we need the stunt coordinator, we need the rental car information. So you can include all this. We're just going to fill this out. And these are required fields. I've made this required, all configurable here. And we can say offsite location, yes. Did you attach for permit? No. And there's some additional instructions here. So I'm going to save and submit this, right? I've submitted this. I can click, this is immediately gone to the project side. Similar logic with web checkout, right? If you students are creating a reservation, it immediately, instantly goes into the web checkout side. But you can see here now she has her proposed project. It's listed here. And she has additional projects that you can see that she's working on. She has two projects for advanced filmmaking. She has one for another class. This is actually for her advanced makers section. So not even for production, right? Patron portal. This is the one place where students can have access to all their equipment and all their projects. So this isn't even related to her film production, but she's working on a project for Makerspace, and the Makerspace has different information that's required. So you can see with projects, it's really flexible. She now, for the students, she can come to Patron Portal, has access to proposed projects for her different classes. And not only is it flexible for her as the project owner, if I click on this Finally project, you'll also notice that there's roles. So she has Ron Weasley as a director. Not only is it flexible, it's so collaborative that Ron, if I click over here on my other Patron Portal side, let's kick me out here, let me log back in. I'm going to log in as Ron. Ron, he too can see that project. So he sees this project here. He is not the owner. He sees that Hermione's the owner. He can view the proposal information, so all of the form info. And he can also see reservations or checkouts. So while he won't be able to see who created that checkout or who submitted that reservation, he's able to see what other equipment and what's been included for this project, as well as attachments. And of course, as Ron is creating this reservation, or if Hermione's creating a reservation, this all ties back in to that equipment request. So as he sees the project, it's been greenlit. When he's ready to create a reservation, it's built into that reservation process that he can select that project because he has a role and his role allows him to circulate to this project. Right. So it's flexible, it's collaborative, uh, and it's integrated. You saw when we went to propose the project, and Ron can propose projects as well, but his sections, his groups are different. He only has intro to photography, and his project type is only extra credit. So it's integrated with web checkouts, groups, patron data. So you don't have to ask them, what class is this for? You don't have to ask your students to enter in their email, enter in their student ID. We understand you all are supporting a successful, vibrant project process now. You guys are using Excel, Google Sheets, Smart Sheets, these very sophisticated processes. They're very sophisticated systems. And yes, those will still remain, but projects will be able to kind of streamline some of this information. We're going to still use, you all will still use your Google Drives, your OneDrives. Those are cloud storage. And while I want to say web checkout could event, we can do it all. We can't compete with Google Drive and we won't be competing with them or OneDrive, but we can work better with them. We can help link out to those systems because we do know a lot of project management requires a lot of document review. So, integration is big and you have that value today. You're integrated with the student and group information. And then also the big factor for everyone, it's one system, right? You're consolidating into one system and it scales. It's already familiar. I don't need to sell you all on that. You all know Patron Portal and Web Checkout, but your students are already using Patron Portal for their equipment reservation. Why not tie in the additional piece into projects, into Web Checkout? All right. So here is the projects module here. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh my screen and I see that so projects module here, I'm going to put some signals if you are managing, um, again, student class projects, if you're managing requests for equipment for student organizations, or if you're providing services to your students like advanced printing services, or you need them to provide additional information again before they submit their reservation. You can manage all that on the project side here. So once the projects are submitted, you can view the project details. You can engage with the form. As a reviewer as a project manager, you are required to go through and approve or send back, and you can add notes for patron and save and request changes that gets sent back to patron portal. They see that it requires their attention, right? So all of that collaboration, communication can be managed in the projects app here. And here is the new feature in the December release. So for all of you who have the projects module now, when you upgrade, you'll see this forms option. You're able to create a new form with that plus sign, right? Create new. And we'll just click on this general intake form so you all can see how it is a fairly modern, intuitive system to create a form. You can click and drag. You can add new instructions if you need to, right? And then relabel, read this, right? Add some text, make it required, conditional visibility as well. So based on your answer, right, we asked about stunts. Is there stunts involved? And then based on the answer, we can have additional questions display. All of this can be managed here and is available to you with the December upgrade. Right? So why the projects module, right? So if you are looking to consolidate systems, you want to accelerate green lighting projects for equipment reservation, and you want to create transparency across your students, faculty, staff, like projects is here for you. We're working with dev partners. We know that we know two of our development partners, they are ready to pilot this. And one of our partners, they are going to be able to use projects to automate, to better, right? All those buzzwords that I said, consolidate, accelerate, collaborate, all that. They're able to use this now and improve their process. And the real benefit, again, your students, they're able to see in Patron Portal where they go to request those equipment for these projects, they're able to see their project status in the system. And for you all staff, it all links back. You can report on equipment usage for academic projects and purposes, right? So if you are interested in projects, we're available. If you have projects, I will be reaching out to you all. If you're interested, please feel free to reach out. But we're really excited about this. Projects is part of the green lighting solution. There are more features that we'll be developing in addition to project management or projects for the full suite of green lighting solutions. But we all understand that that intake process, getting the information, the approval process is really indicative or imperative to this. So we're focusing on that initial data collection, approval kind of workflows now. All right. This does bring me to the end of our new feature demonstrations. Okay. Uh, and so if I can go back to there we go, my PowerPoint here. We're now going to talk about our roadmap for our upcoming June release. All right, so for our June release, here is what we are considering. Um, and these are pretty set in stone. So if there are changes, yeah, this is what is expected to come out in June. So patron portal accessibility. So we have had an audit of patron portal. The web accessibility standards are very important to us. So we know that they're important to you all. We'll be addressing those critical issues in the June release. So you all will see an improvement to the patron portal user experience. And of course, we'll be demonstrating, we'll have another webinar to highlight those improvements. We're also going to provide support for barcode printing. So for the June release, this will be our first go at it. You will be able to not only generate barcodes, you'll be able to print barcodes, but beyond that, we are looking to provide you with a supported documentation on how to implement with a barcode specific label and barcodes. So we want to provide kind of based on what your systems are, what you're using, kind of procedures on how to use barcode printing. We'll start with what we're testing with, but we're going to provide you with a supported barcode printing option here. All right. And then scheduler improvements. So we will be addressing kind of handling conflicts, and being able to better handle scheduling conflicts. We know you all deal with, and this happens when you're dealing with large orders or heavily circulated items, and those are the ones where we need the system to work snappy and be able to provide you feedback so you can address those big orders. So the improvements with the June release, it's going to handle those hopefully more seamlessly and provide you with clear conflict messages. So which items or which types are overdue or unavailable for the order. And then also giving you more leverage to adjust some of the overdue resource settings, because those do tend to kind of conflict or create more scheduler computation time. We'll say that. But we're looking to improve that experience for you all. And then finally, with the new features with project forms and with an approval process built in, as well as consumables, what we have released to you all now, we want to take your feedback, or we will be taking your feedback and making refinements, improvements to the June release. These are iterative releases, so we'll uh, please keep in mind the time frame, right? From now to the June release. What we can fit in, what you all will find value, we'll prioritize. And thanks to our development partners to help us really shape the projects module. And all of you, thanks for all of your time, your feedback, your consideration to bring us to where we are today. Really, we wouldn't be here without all of your time, consideration, and feedback. So really excited for what's to come in the June release and beyond. So happy to share that with you all. If you have any questions, please chime in. And that's a great transition to our question slide. Now, I did see a lot of questions pop on up. And Brittany, you're the only person I can view in this webinar view. And I saw some of your
Oh.
facial impressions. So I'm so interested. What questions
Uh,
can we address?
there's lots of good questions. You have a lot of questions from consumables, projects, and then generally how to upgrade.
Okay.
So first, folks are wondering if they can add consumables via a spreadsheet.
Sure can. There is
Woohoo.
there's new, is it two spreadsheets or it's in our documented online. Hope you're all familiar with our new help documentation. You just click on that question mark and I'll direct you there. So if you've upgraded as of June 2026, no more username and password. That's all linked to the application. But yes, you can import consumables.
Perfect. And we got another question asking if there are currently any emails to remind folks to replenish their consumables.
That's a great question. At the moment, no. The notification is within the manage consumables screen. So while there are plans for notifications, what kind of notification would you like? Is it an email? Is it a system kind of alert where when there's an upgrade or a patch available, you get that icon in the front page? Is it more of a visual cue within the application? We'd like to hear what would work for you. Um, but great question. No email at the moment. It's the manage consumables, threshold date, and replenish status.
All right. And we did get a question asking if there is a way to convert current resources into consumables.
That is such a great question. I had the same question when I was first introduced to consumables. At this point, there is not. So if you are looking for kind of best case or best practices on how to transition or decommission, and we're here and can help walk you through that process. But there is not a systematic or programmatic way to update unserialized to consumables.
Excellent. And the next question I have about consumables is asking if folks can view their consumables, like on a phone or mobile device, or if they have to use a computer to view that.
I haven't tested that view. Um, I imagine on a mobile screen, this might be more challenging to engage in. Maybe with the iPad, it may respond better. I haven't tested this in a mobile view. So sorry, I can't
Um,
help you
and
there.
and then finally, folks were just wondering where that new consumable, the manage consumable area was
Great question.
small on the screen.
It is small. See, I can zoom in. It's under the resources menu, manage consumables.
Perfect. And I think that's our consumable questions. And we got quite a few for projects and forms. So the first question is, are the project or form fields customizable?
Yes, all of these forms, I have several different types of forms, but these form fields are absolutely, you can put whatever you want displayed. Yes.
Excellent. And the next question is if project proposals is a global setting, or can project proposals be limited to selected sections or groups?
Great question. I'm going to break that into two. So if you are licensed for projects, so if you have projects in Patron Portal, everyone will see at least this projects icon. However, if whether or not they have the ability to propose a project will be based on their groups. So while the projects menu will be, if you have it, it's available to all, your ability to propose or engage with the projects module is based on your group affiliation. So only these four classes or groups that Hermione is a part of. She's enrolled in more, but only these four sections provide the project option. Did that answer your question? Did that address the question?
I
And
think
feel free to
so.
go off mute if you'd like to, if you want to chime in.
I believe that answered the question. It looks like folks can't unmute themselves.
Sorry,
It's okay.
sorry about that.
Another question. Sorry, folks, looking at the chat. It looks like we have a question if project forms support attachments.
Great question. Currently, the project itself it allows for attachments. So I'm with the project, and you can see that I've attached a script, I've attached attachment doc. So you can add attachments to the project. Within the form itself, right now it's just more input fields. It has been documented that there may be a specific field that requires an attachment. So being able to add attachments to a form, maybe a feature that we see added to this down the road.
Perfect. The next question we have is, are attached files in a project visible to other patron group members and are operators able to download?
Great question. The attachments for a project are visible to those who are within the project, so that have a key role in the project. So it's not so the project information, again, if you have a key role to the project, you can see the project information. If you're just a part of the group, so this class, this is for multimedia production and storytelling. I'm also part of Jeannie Clark. I'm part of this class. I will not be able to see this specific project finally because I am not part of this project. I don't have a key role, so I won't see it. Ron can see this project, right? I'm in Ron's view here. Ron can see finally because he's not the project owner, but because he has a role that allows him to view that information. So he can view the attachments as well. Great
Perfect.
questions.
Yeah, these are great. We have another question asking if resources can be added directly to the project.
Oh, interesting. Well, so based on the project, it pre-populates like the package of equipment that's required for that project. Is that kind of
I
the
believe
feature
so.
request?
This is asked a couple minutes ago, though, when we
Okay.
were in the
Uh,
session.
at this point, there is no link to the project and the equipment directly, but with right the group access and you all are familiar with groups and managing access to equipment by the group. It's that same group. So if the group has access to red cameras and now they're part of this project that's offered from the group, right? They're going to be able to use this. But no, there's not a direct link to pre-add those equipment based on the project. That's a great feature though.
Yes, and it looks like we got a clarification in the chat. So to integrate equipment into the project itself, um, like can a project be treated as a specialized allocation?
Um, yes, it can. Um, I would want to know more what your specialized scenarios are. I should probably know more before I say yes, it can. But whoever asked that question, I please do reach out, or if we have their name, we can reach out to you to just better understand your use case, and see how projects can support that. All right, we're nearing the top of the hour, the end of the call. If we are unable to address your question, we can have a follow-up and provide it in writing. Um, Brittany, you have the power here. Is there one more question we could address?
There's one really big question. How
Yeah.
can folks upgrade to December
Oh,
2025
that's a
and
huge
where they can
question.
see their
Yes.
current version?
Yes. So thank goodness you have the power and you're keeping us on track. Very important screen. If you're ready to upgrade, email support. There's no additional fees. This is again a part of your subscription with Web Checkout. This is what we're here to do. Please email support@webcheckout.net. If you are coming from a fairly later version, again, the lower right-hand corner tells you where you're coming from, um, and you have any concerns or want any additional support, you can always reach out to us. We're happy to help you. If you're interested in the projects module, want to continue this conversation, you can email sales. And then if you want a faster onboarding experience, you want to make utilize consumables as quick as possible. You want to upgrade or use the benefits of projects now. You want a faster experience. Services were available to you, and that's Brittany. She's here for you. I'm part of that team as well. We're here for you. We love working with you all. You're probably all aware we do offer services with your annual renewal. You can always add them at any time you need additional help. We are an extension of your team, of your operations, and we're here for you. All right. So, ready to upgrade email support? Any other questions? Support's always a great place to start. They're so attentive. All right, if nothing else, ended on the hour. Thank you all so much for your patience, your engagement, all of your questions. Looking forward for to see all your upgrade requests and getting you all up on the latest release. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, I love it. Yes, hearts, Valentine's Day. Have a great weekend, all.